could scale 2 agencies to a combined revenue of $160,000 a month using AI.
Jack built a 7-figure AI automation business after exiting his tech startup as a top 100 UK entrepreneur. So this new browser came out, ChatGPT Atlas, that was stealth dropped, by the way. I don't know if you saw, but like
In the middle of the night.
Twitter, just out of nowhere, just said live stream coming up in 1 hour. And then it's like, Sam's like, hey guys, here's a browser. It's available right now. So I think they were trying to like really sweep up as much market share as possible. But anyway, this browser basically has automation built in. And so I've experimented with a few tasks and it can actually build N8N workflows, which is pretty wild. Have you had a chance to screw around with it yet?
I did, bro, actually. It was like 10 p.m. There was rumors and rumblings about it. So I got my hands on it because but people may not know it's only available for Macs. So I think every viewer of this podcast is probably okay. But anyway, all the Windows viewers got really screwed over. Actually, to be fair, I make that joke, but a lot of people are saying, I can't access it. I did. So Nick, we've just bought some non-Mac computers, and I'll be honest with you guys, like my brain melted when I tried to use this Windows. I was like, it has been a minute since I touched it. All I have to say, it's Mac only. I've played around with it, and dude, it's very cool. The way that I would TLDR it for everybody is it's not going to 1000x anything, but it's going to make you marginally better at 1,000 things. So you can just let it do things. I played around with things like having it analyze like to-do lists and projects. That was really cool. The best one, honestly, bro, is like ordering stuff off Amazon. I'm like, find me all the non-ad stuff that would fit my setup. Like that was really, really cool. And then the other actually good use case, LinkedIn replies.
Oh, that's smart. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude, definitely. And then the hackers, you just preload like custom instructions with like your tone of voice from LinkedIn or something. But so the big advantage is the more you use it, the better it gets. So that's like the whole memory thing. So that was really cool. But dude, it's like, I always think with these technologies, bro, when it comes out, obviously there's always a panoply of commentary on it. But then I always get really skeptical when people say to me things like, well, think of the use cases, Nick. You can create these brand guidelines. And I'm like, okay, like how often do I look at brand guidelines on Claude? Probably not daily. That's not something I'm doing every day. So I think you've got to look at the core use cases of it. And I think there are a lot with this, actually. I think there's a lot of little mini improvements across many things, bro.
Yeah, the way I see it is it's like a really early version of Elementor for WordPress. For anybody that doesn't know, WordPress, obviously like a website hosting platform, they had this website builder come out called Elementor a while back. And Elementor is kind of cool. It was just like a drag and drop builder. And like V1 of Elementor was really janky and shitty. But, you know, it democratized access to the ability to build a website. And it made things a lot easier for people to build. The way I see it, these like in-browser AI companion tools like ChatGPT Atlas, because that's basically what it is. It's like Chromium plus ChatGPT that just like sees everything. Are basically that. They just democratize access to some form of like automation. So I see it pretty similarly, to be honest. Do I think like any of us are necessarily out of a job or out of work or whatnot? Obviously not. It's just a small iterative improvement on what has been occurring over the course of the last like 2, maybe 3 years, I want to say, where automation just gets easier and easier and easier to do. But I do think that there's some interesting applications for things like scraping. Like before, you know, I would get requisition to build custom scrapers on Upwork and I could bang these projects out, $2,000, $3,000 a pop, take me like 3 or 4 hours. Pretty good hourly rate, involving me selecting specific elements on the page, scrolling to it, clicking. Well, now I don't need to like write a script and post it on Amplify to do that. Like I don't need any programming knowledge at all. Now it's literally just like, hey, I want you to upvote all of the LinkedIn posts, right? And so and then it's just like, oh, okay, ding, ding. Is it fast? No, it's really slow. But like it's in your browser, really kind of like native, knows everything that you know, essentially, which allows people to just like spit out a one-line request and actually have it work reasonably. I haven't found it like catastrophically fucking up yet. Pardon my French.
No, I mean, I'm sure it will, you know, leak various private things we don't want it to do. Dude, funny thing on Elementor, dude, I remember last business I did at Elementor was really cool because, dude, the amount of deals we got because the website looked great and we just built it on Elementor. This is pre like Webflow era and stuff. And I sold a website to a business. They were like, oh, you could do this stuff for like £8,000, which would be like $12,000.
Jesus.
And I built that in 2 days. And I was like, it was correct. But this is the thing about like things that look difficult to do, but are actually quite straightforward. So I was like, this is freaking cool as fuck. By the way, I'm now on the Webflow hype train as well. I've kind of abandoned Elementor and Card now. I'm messing on the Webflow one. The funny thing though, dude, I found with it is, yes, it can reply to things. It's very, very good at doing that. I'm just kind of waiting for the tasks bit. And what landed on my sort of brain about it was OpenAI seems to be venturing into every single field. They're now doing the whole workflow automation stuff. Now they've entered the browser space. They're like all these separate verticals they're blasting into, bro. It's crazy. Like, I don't know who's left for them to compete with now.
Yeah, I mean, when you have intelligence that just makes it really easy to build products fast. If you think that Codex is good, imagine what they got under the hood. Even a few months of advancements are, a big improvement. You can create any sort and all sorts of products. Not to mention they do just have like the best engineering staff now. So I think that has a lot to do with it, right?
Yeah, and I think as well, if you're going to be on a browser, you may as well be on an AI-enabled browser.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why not?
Yeah, it's very much the future. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm using it. I use it every day now. Well, every day. I used it for the last 24 hours, so technically I've used it every day since it's come out.
Every single day.
It asked for keychain access, which is interesting. I did not want to give it keychain access, which just gives it like all of the passwords that are stored on my computer.
I
was like, I think I'll leave that one out. But aside from that, I'm going full auto, baby. Let's go.
You're all chipped in the table. Dude, ChatGPT's already got all the compromise and stuff on me, man. So some passwords are nothing. Like, yeah, it may as well take the passwords at this stage, bro, to be honest with you.
The transcription tools and stuff all do as well. So I use a variety of different transcription tools all the time. I think you're building a transcription tool right now as part of your SaaS adventure. And
yes, Brisket.
Yeah, like in order to like do what they need to do, they take screenshots of my screen, every, burp, every like,
everything. The amount of data they get on you is crazy. Yeah.
Scary.
I don't believe that anywhere. A lot of these just organizations generally, like, I mean, we talked about the hack, right? With that T app where everyone's like gossiping. I don't like the way he said hello, all that sort of stuff. And like, it was like paper thin defenses. Like, no one's really respecting your data, if we're honest. Like, so you got to have like really good principles and be on top of that stuff, man. So
that's a good point. Maybe just like be a good person. I mean, like, obviously nobody should. Yeah, I don't want to go too wishy-washy with this because it's like, well, if you have nothing to hide, then why care? And it's like, no, it's about the principle of the thing. And like in any super authoritarian situation, like people will always find something wrong with you that doesn't conform to their worldview. But like, well, dude, actually, it really goes to show.
No, that is a really good point actually about the rule of law. Just to take a complete right turn on this, actually, was that why? So you can, for example, in the UK, I'm pretty sure it's the most countries, if you don't give due process, the entire case is thrown out. And there's an idea of like, if they can, so they're in the UK, you can be arrested for certain things. Like the idea is like, if you give them the power, they just need to change the definition of what a criminal is, and then they can pretty much lock up anybody. So you're going to be like careful about stuff. But all I have to say, dude, but the data thing is pretty insane. We had the comment. We've also had Claude skills. Nick, how many skills on Claude have you built right now? Is it 16, 17? Is it?
No need to point a loaded gun in my head for me to let me shoot myself. 0. No, I think Claude's skills are really cool development in the last couple of weeks as well. They, I was chatting about this on a few of my videos and in my community, but I think we're getting to the point where accuracy levels with Claude Code and other agentic AI tools are high enough now that the accuracy is so high and like the failure rate is so low that you can actually just have it be a drop-in replacement for make.com, drop-in replacement for N8N. What I mean by this is right now, N8N and make.com and these other no-code tools are glue that hold together other platforms, right? And you do the building by dragging and dropping these preset nodes. Well, guess what? You can just tell Claude to do shit in natural language. You could say, hey, here's an SOP, here's a routine, here's a skill. When you get a request, I want you to take the request and then access this database. Here's all my credentials. Once you access this database, take it and then format it into this thing and send it over to that endpoint. There are my credentials. And then combine them into some proposal on this platform. So that is the glue. That is like the no-code platform, essentially. It's just a natural language. So I was mentioning this briefly, like here or there. And then, I think Claude is moving towards formalizing that. It's like instead of workflows, you just give natural language SOPs and then boom, you get 80% of the same results. Is it super crazy accurate? Still some issues, obviously. Would I do this in a production scenario right now? Like I've experimented with it, but not in like an automated way, is like a human oversight way. Works reasonably well. What about you?
That's cool, man. Dude, no, I think that's really interesting. If you think about it, Claude is facing into the same problem statement as the no-code builders are. And OpenAI is doing exactly the same with their agent builder and the idea of connecting things to other things. And in some cases, you can automate things with Claude Code that you don't need in make.com. I think it's an unwinnable argument because it really depends what the objective is. If the objective is to put automation tools in the hands of many businesses as possible, some of the tried and tested and non-shiny solutions are still the way to go. If it's, I could technically do it with this, but give me 5 hours of deep training on it, then I guess there's many ways you can do it. But the Claude rabbit hole is one that I've been dancing around, to be honest, bro, about going deep into it. I think one of the things I've just been thinking about is, yes, I could do, I mean, obviously, because we create so much content in the space, we could go really deep into content creation, but does it solve, is that maximum value per minute of content? Do you know what I mean? If you went really deep on Claude Code tutorials, and I do think there's a really big market for that, but I don't think the creation of the workflow is the bottleneck at the moment for a lot of people. So again, I think it depends on your objective, to be honest, or what you're trying to do.
I think you hit the nail on the head. The creation of the workflows is not the bottleneck. Any reasonable business will productize their solutions. And so they're not selling new things every time. They're selling the same thing with minor tweaks. So the creation of the workflows is very rarely going to be a bottleneck in that situation because the workflow is a one-click template anyway. You build the infrastructure, it might take you 3 hours, and then now it's like, boom, same thing over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, it did.
The bottleneck is always just getting the goddamn clients. It's building the distribution. This has been the bottleneck for the last 40 years or whatever. It's probably going to continue being the bottleneck.
Dude, it's funny. I think people are the bottleneck now because it's not even the knowledge. I don't think we have a knowledge problem. We have an execution problem. So what is funny is, okay, so if you look at the automation economy of 12 months ago, it definitely was the case that there was value in the blueprint. You must have gotten questions as well. Be like, Nick, can I sell your blueprints? Jack, I want to sell this system, these blueprints. I was like, dude, yeah, sure, but it's not the highest level thing you could do. Now, I find people don't ask as much to sell blueprints anymore purely because they are more commonplace. And again, it's not
value. Everybody's got everybody's blueprint. Dude, remember that guy, Oleg, who just leaked all of our blueprints online for free?
Dude,
I mean, kudos to him. That was a solid move. But when that happened and before that happened, it was just oh yeah, templates don't really matter. Dude, there's a whole
You think that was the tipping point? Was that the watershed?
No. I think the tipping point was before. And Oleg's a really cool guy. I didn't realize, but he's a fellow YouTube creator. His girlfriend reached out to me and said something along the lines of, "Hey, it's Oleg's birthday coming up. He watches your stuff all the time. Would you record a thing?" And it was a message request, and fucking 3 weeks go by, and I see it, and I'm like, "Fuck, Oleg's birthday." But anyway, cool guy though. And at that point though, it basically already had no value. Dude, you go to n8n.com/templates. There are thousands that do anything you could ever possibly want to do. So yeah, the workflow building is not the bottleneck, as you mentioned. I guess it is the people. Is it just the human agency? Is it just agency in general?
Dude, that's such a Canadian instinct. My boyfriend just stole your life's work. You send him a happy birthday message, please. No, I feel so bad. I missed it. That is hilarious, Nick.
Yeah,
that is crazy. Yeah, dude, it's absolutely wild. So Claude Skills came out. That was quite a big thing. I think where I landed on it as well, I think it definitely was targeted more for your coder side of the Claude user base than your typical, business owner, entrepreneur using it, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we wrapped up a project with some guys out in Saudi Arabia recently. It was a 2-month project, and I think we made 20 grand-ish on it in total. And it was the first time that we'd ever used Claude Code, to build workflow-based stuff. Very reminiscent of the way that they're doing skills now. And I remember being yeah, this is cool, get a new project, and immediately it's hey, here's the onboarding call transcript, go do a bunch of shit. Or oh, here's the current Slack workspace config, make some changes. That was pretty fun. It was fun.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Is that really the bottleneck? I mean, Claude skills are nice, and so insofar that they're formalizing it, but no. I would agree with you that it seems interesting, but not really going to change anything for me.
Dude, what was funny, I'd say the most go-to tool is Notebook LM. It is absolutely goated. I think if people aren't taking your sales transcripts from your calls and putting it into Notebook LM, you are losing out massively. Your custom proposal documents and stuff, there's automations for that, but I find that it's such a hack taking that transcript with preloading it with already loads of context you already have and just asking based on this conversation, what are the next steps, or how would you modify this existing document? Literally, bro, crazy. 'Cause have you been those like 2-hour calls, bro, where you leave and you're like, dude, who even what the hell was their name? I've forgotten their name, but and then it's like it just got all that freaking content. Like, that's like one of the highest leverage thing I've ever seen, like 100%.
That's really interesting.
It
Is
was
it
cool,
via
dude. Yeah.
API now, or is it still just like in the browser?
No API yet, dude. No API, dude, at all. No
You gotta
API,
do
dude.
some API stuff, man. I mean, that'd be so cool. Just take your Fireflies transcript and pass it in with a bunch of context. Ask it like 10 basic questions.
Dude,
It's your whole strategy.
I did so. Yeah, we were looking like a RAG project. Like that was like a 50K ish diagnostic, and we were looking actually the beyond like RAG for actual like training of models, like fine tuning. And what I found it with some of the big ones, like I don't know if you've ever found this, but like when you get really technical, like when you get really big project values and stuff, sometimes you'll have like really niche technical areas that you've got to step into, so you can bring on different like you got to go like sometimes like if we don't have the answer, we'll go find someone that actually can figure out the answer. I'm like, dude, there's so many guys that like sit on the call and are like, Nick, you want the sunshine and the moon? No, write that down. We'll get that one done for you by Tuesday, Nick. It's like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's like,
totally.
It's absolutely wild, dude. Yeah, it's crazy.
Weird technical shit. But the funniest is weird technical stuff that clients just don't need, and they've been like sold this idea that they do need stuff, and then they come to you like with some sort of extraordinarily technical need that they think that is necessary. Like, we need like an agent flow application that runs off of a Pinecone vector DB encoded as this with 394 embedding dimensions. I'm always just like, do you? I don't really think you do. And then,
do you know what I hate is the ChatGPT briefs. This is what
ChatGPT brief. Oh yeah, where they give
the 10 pages of great. Here's a simplify. Here's what and I'm like, you've just ChatGPT, and then you just get ChatGPT to analyze it, just summarize it. It's crazy. Like, I just honestly like the amount of times you get like 10 pages of just ChatGPT stuff, and it's like, dude, this is crazy, man.
Yeah, right before our call, I was on a community call, and one of my guys, Roger, who's a really cool guy, he just closed a 30K project, and then he flew out to Canada and hung out with me for a bit. He was talking about like a recent Upwork application that he was doing. And he's like, yeah, Upwork now has this feature where it's like an AI interview. So like AI, it interviews you with like basic questions. And then it's like a voice agent that like, oh, wow, that is very interesting. Please tell me more and shit. And I mean, we were just chatting and I was just like, dude, what a stupid ass place to put an AI model. Like, if you're going to use AI, use it as a tool. Use it as like your fingertips. Enable you to do things that are downstream at the bottom really, really fast. But don't use it at like the front of an organization, like to hire people. Like, dude, if you screw up at the hiring, you're costing that organization hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, let's say your AI model can't tell the tone difference in a guy, and the guy is just actually like extraordinarily socially, I don't know, he's just like ridiculous, really, really stupid social, and he can't maintain a conversation. You hire this guy on. He's now the weakest link in the team. Weakest link in the team slows down the company by XYZ, whatever.
100%.
You could lose $100,000 on that. Like, if there is a single place to put actual human intellect, it is in the brief of the job. It is literally like spending 30 minutes writing a job description. Like, you're not going to get higher freaking leverage on your time than writing a goddamn job description, dude.
You're definitely not. I could not agree more. It's like the cost of hiring someone incorrect is freaking substantial. But dude, I find Upwork as a hirer is not a great platform. It's like it's so like I find a lot of people who hire on Upwork have the same feedback. It's tough to find good talent on that platform.
Yeah, definitely. I would 100% agree. That's why I think if you are hiring, you need to make it a mandatory thing to ask the person to do something for you in said video application or message. And then you have to offer to pay them for it as well. Like, don't just, get a bunch of free work done, but like actually have them do the thing that you want the job to be. I found success hiring on Upwork, but only because I explicitly state what the daily SOP is. It's like, hey, you're going to be a video editor. Every morning at 9 a.m., you're going to receive a video file as an MP4 uploaded into Google Drive. With that video file, your task is to do X, Y, and Z. You literally just give them everything, the whole SOP for the task. And then you're like, oh, do you want to apply for this? Great. Then do a video. I will send you $50 for the time. Email this address after you're done, and then have at it. And that's been 50-50 because Upwork's now starting to like prune through email addresses and forms and contact methods. So I totally feel you. I just think like the standard interview thing means nothing, man. Like nobody knows what the hell they're talking about on that platform.
No, they don't. No, they really don't, dude. I hired a guy. I had a guy in my last startup, and he was. The problem with hiring sales guys is they're really good at convincing you in a conversation, but then when it actually comes down to checking the ABCs, it's crazy. So like my like philosophy with like this sort of stuff is like I give people loads of rope, And then when things don't happen, like you kind of just go a little bit less rope, and to the point where like, dude, we found out. Okay, I've got to be careful what I can say online on this podcast,
Okay.
but we, one of the guys, dude, it turns out I went in the office and he was like watching Minecraft or something. As I walked in, he was like, and he would, I went like this, dude. He scrambled to get, like, if he would have just said, "Oh, hey, Jack, how's it going?" Like, and like acted it would have been cool, but he was like, whoa. And then, anyways, like, I looked into it, and then it turns out, like, because he, like, we looked at, like, labs, like, how many leads are we doing, what's the appointments, this sort of stuff. And then it turns out this guy had sent like 3 emails in 5 days. And like his like main thing was emails. And I was like, yeah. But then like when you talk to them and stuff, they're always like, oh, it's been crap, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, big lesson here is you really have to like inspect what you expect really early and like fire quickly, which isn't a bad thing. Like if it's not a good fit, like it's better to have like more effort put in the upfront hiring process than it is after the fact. So that was really disappointing. So I was like, dude, I actually like really like want you to win and stuff, but like obviously this is just like completely unacceptable stuff. So, dude, I think you've got to get like through the process of hiring loads of people, which is why like people who have backgrounds in corporate stuff, I think it's an asset. I think there's value in everybody's background. You just have like there'll be certain things you're experienced with, or if you've been in entrepreneurship for slightly longer, certain like interactions you've got to kind of go through and earn your stripes with that sort of stuff. And team leadership is a big one. If you want to scale big at some point. Obviously, I know now we're in the era of the billionaire solopreneur, but in the traditional like model and stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that Elon Musk's one-line banger tweet comes to mind here. What did you get done this week?
Damn, that's powerful, bro.
I mean, like you just ask one of these guys that's great at selling themselves, but doesn't actually do the work. What did you get done this week? And it's so evident. I'm really big on the daily SOPs for that purpose. I found that like instilling some form of like end of day deliverable report or something, like where like they just need to show you the deliverable at the end of every day is like a good 80-20 between, as you mentioned, giving them a ton of rope and then having them hang themselves with it. Because you check in once a day, but then you give people total freedom to do whatever the heck they want until the deliverable is due. And it's like, as long as the quality is there, that's all that I really care about. What is the deliverable? Usually it's like a file, it's like a video, it's like a report, it's like a Google Doc, it's something. It's worked pretty well. It's worked pretty well for me, especially with my content stuff, like with editing. That was a really big one. So,
I think that's such a good thing, dude, for like, the more like transactional, like if you have someone who's doing like some strategy or owning a product line or something, it's almost, to be fair, it's the same thing. You just change the ask and the horizon for the check-in.
Yes, that's a good point. What, like weekly instead of daily or something?
Yeah. So you bring head of strategy for Nick TikTok or something like that, or like Nick International. I don't know, like whatever it is, like Korean Nick, whatever it is.
Don't give people ideas, man.
Yeah, that's it, dude. 100%. Oh, dude. Speaking of content, dude, we should talk about. Should we talk about live? Talk about our strat, the big beautiful plan.
Yeah, Jack and I are going to become video game streamers like PewDiePie.
That's it. That's the plan.
That's it. That's the whole
left hand
podcast.
Yeah. That's it. 100%. Yeah.
Jack and I are going to absolutely pwn noobs in Fortnite. We were just dunking on 7-year-olds a couple days ago. 7-year-olds and bots. And we realized that what a brilliant mechanism for building relationships online en masse. Live streaming is the next play, obviously. Human beings love watching human beings do stuff. They don't really like watching robots do stuff, aside from just some passing fascination. We know this because look at chess models. Chess models have been better than human beings for like the last 30, 40 years or whatever, 20 years, I guess. You don't just watch AI chess models all day. There are chess championships where humans play against other humans. People cheer them on. What's that guy, the big chess guy?
Magnus Carlsen?
Yes, YouTube channel where he's just playing. The thing is, you don't watch it for the gameplay or the skill. I mean, the skill's auxiliary. You watch it for the person, right? And so with AI coming to the fore and, starting to significantly reduce the barrier for entry of content generation, just look at Sora and stuff like that. Really, like if you just boil all content down to its essentials, it's just the relationship with the person. And Jack and I thought that wouldn't that be an interesting way to build relationships? You're just casually playing some game or live streaming your thoughts on Twitch or something, and focusing more on presence than looking all polished. And in that way, building a large relationship is possible. Okay, I butchered my thesis, but trust me, it looked really sexy when I sent it to Jack.
It was a beautiful, dissertation level, it was fantastic. First class, Nick, first class. But, I completely agree with what you're saying, dude. I actually think the beginning of this was the anti-beastification of YouTube. So I know you weren't like, a lot of people on YouTube got to the point with MrBeast videos where everything was hyper edited. Every 3 seconds there had to be an explosion, all these like crazy rules for it, like educational content. And then there was this big rise of Sam Sulekism, where you just sat at a table having a lot, and people started to resonate more with that content. So I think this idea of live, authentic stuff works, because the more edits and whiz bangs you have in a video, the less connected you feel to the actual speaker. And there's so many counts and examples of when you've spent hours with somebody in a live scenario, you have this parasocial relationship, like you actually know who they are. Like, but if you do a video, like, okay, what's a good example of that? Is it Mr. Who's the boss? The guy who does the tech stuff. He's doing stuff like this, and there's like whiz bangs, and there's things happening behind him. Like it's like synapse. Like, oh my gosh, like literally, like you need a break. You're like, what the hell did I just watch? After but he's really good. But you don't feel like you have a relationship with him. You don't feel like you know him. Like when I'm chatting to Nick, and Nick drops his coffee on the floor, and like, oh crap, give me 5 minutes, I'll be back. Like you feel you have a relationship with Nick now because Nick's done that, right? So live is the best gateway to authenticity. So there's no, like, you can fake anything for 20 minutes, but if you like live stream for 2 hours, there's nowhere really to hide about that. You see the mannerisms, what they think about it. So, and people crave that. And then the other flip side of this as well is that if you think about what we all did when we were 8 years old, apart from eat, candy floss and whatnot, watch Power Rangers, we watched each other play games to the point where like you were actually happy to watch your buddy play like a horror game, and you would watch. You didn't feel like you had to be playing all the time. So it touches so many different things. And then I also think we also think that there's this big intersection between business and games. And Nick, are quite frankly sick of the slide that playing games is not cool. Playing games is like something to be like this. I don't know. I just think it's crazy. I think if we're all just honest, like even in corporate settings, like would you actually prefer to play Fortnite right now, or sat in this stupid stuffy meeting with 15 ties on? What would you honestly prefer to do? I just think on every level possible, it aligns with all stuff. But it is also a very niche opinion. I don't think it's mainstream right now. So it's definitely a strategic bet.
People are like ashamed to admit that they enjoy playing games. If you look at any major like business person online, or any major business person in general, whether they're online or not, it's never like, hey, like office party, let's play some Super Smash Bros. Or some shit. It's always like, hey, let's like feign some level of like corporate professionalism, and just like pretend that none of us just go home and like screw around and do stuff that like might not be 100% productive all the time. Because there's like a vested interest in maintaining an image of like hyper productivity. Dude, when I was pumping out like a video every single day on my main channel and a video every single day on my daily updates channel, like I was coming at the end of the day crushing kids on League of Legends. I was absolutely doing that. Are you kidding? Stress levels, man. You got to regulate that somehow. And, it was just fun and enjoyable.
Well, dude, you've seen the statistics, right, of like surgeons that play video games are, I think it was like 30% better. Like their survival rates are like statistically better. And it was this idea of like, if there was anything that gave you a 30% advantage, we would mandate that. But because it's a video game, it's not allowed.
Yeah, and Jack's future dictatorship. You have to play Fortnite every goddamn day.
Every day, 100% every day. Well, dude, I remember like, RuneScape, you learn principles of mining and ironing. Like there's actual real world knowledge that was applied there. So it was cool.
I remember my whole argument to try and get my parents to buy me RuneScape, like the premium pass, was that I was learning about the environment. And I said, Dad, do you know what a yew tree is?
I do.
$9 a month.
You can figure it out, and then we can have all the sort of data.
Did not work.
Well, you were free to play then. I appreciate that, man.
Brutal.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's gonna be really fun, man. So I'm stoked. I think it'll start probably really slowly and organically, but I've already been experimenting with live streams in my communities. So I dropped one right before our call just to see how that went. Dropped one yesterday in Maker School.
So how's that working in school then, bro? Live stream, because it just a second dropped. I'm gonna have a little play around with it. Is it just Nick is live, Jack is live, and then people just drop in to come say hello to us?
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. If you just click go live on school, it sets up a random hangout. So you can't adjust the title. So what you have to do is you have to go into the calendar, create plus, and then create an event for now, and then join it afterwards. It's like 4 button clicks instead of 1, but I'm sure they'll have like the ability to rename the event soon. And what I'll do is I'm just like, what I did earlier today was I just did co-working. So there's something that I've been wanting to do in my program for a while, Make Money with Meg, that is finish the $25,000 per month agency roadmap. So that is like a roadmap that helps you take an agency that makes $5,000 to $10,000 a month and then scales to $25,000 a month. We optimize like your sales, your meeting rate, your show up rate, your conversion rate. Basically just run through the whole gauntlet, give you everything you need to succeed. So I've been dragging my feet on this. I told everybody in my community, like, hey, I'm working on this ETA on this 2 months ago.
Yeah.
What am I doing? This is unbelievable. Like, this is unacceptable, honestly. Very much one of those rest on my laurels things. So I was like, what better way to make sure I do this than to show everybody where I am in this thing every day? And I was like, well, that's a great thing. I'm just going to set myself some 30 minute per day accountability live stream. And then I just called it Co-working with Nick, 25K per month agency. I think I had like 5 people join over the course of 30 minutes and it was fun. They chatted. Oh, wow, this is cool. Great idea here. Hey, why don't you add this? So
That's cool, man.
I think I'm just going to get used to like being in like a recorded live scenario, because what better skill to cultivate, as you mentioned, if presence and authenticity are the key drivers for future content.
I completely agree with that, dude. Because like some of the spontaneous live sessions I've done in the AI automations by Jack stuff have actually ended up being some of the most like incredible conversations ever. Like even better than some of the planned pre-ordered ones, because it just actually feels like, Nick, you want to jump on and have like a video call for 10 minutes type of thing. I do agree. I think that live thing is really cool. It's one like habit I've seen the highly successful people do is they give a whole 2 birds, 1 stone thing, but you triplicate and quadruple it massively. So, for example, I was doing some coaching the other day, and I said, well, why don't I show you a live example of the thing? I'm like, that sounds great. And it was the thing I had to do anyway. So I managed to get my work done and show like the thing. And I was like, it was just like so freaking cool. And it's the same with content. Like everything you do can be content. So we're going to play games anyway. You may as well record it and have a good time.
Yeah, if it's all just about you being yourself, like if you're putting on some big show, I'm sure that's energetically draining. But if you're just yourself and you're just enjoying it, I'm like, yeah, I would agree.
Okay, so let's theorize for a sec, right? What do we think the levers of like long-term successful? Okay, if the goal was, actually, I guess if the goal is to have fun and to maximize the size of this Jack and Nick streaming Fortnite like empire, and let's say 3 years time, what do you think the top ingredients are for that to be a reality?
Well, I think we have to find our unique differentiators. I believe the unique differentiator, based off a cursory analysis of Twitch and other streaming platforms, is that we're slightly more mature. We have a lot of life experience, and specifically, we make a lot of money. So while we shouldn't be like, here's how I make $100,000 million, and here's my
damn kids, yeah,
kids have no idea what the hell you're doing. We should mention it, and so that should be some form of our content. So our content should be in some way, shape, or form like. Shouldn't revolve around the business, but like while we're streaming or whatever, we could have this natively occur by taking like one question every, 5 or 10 minutes or something that would illustrate our ability to articulate how to solve real business problems on the fly. And then rather than having to mention, oh, I make all this money online, like we can just insert it organically as we answer questions in the content. And then we could probably have it just in like the bio or something,
I like that.
Taking questions only from subscribers or something. That's what this guy, Jackie Chu, does, which I think is brilliant. I think that we need to be consistent. And, like it's fun at the end of the day. I don't want to turn it into like a job or something. Like it's just us screwing around. But like, we should be consistent. We shouldn't like go 4 months without doing anything and then all of a sudden just go every day for like 3 weeks. Because you build, as you mentioned, through presence and through like being around and through being authentic. So, we need to do some form of either like every day or every couple of days or maybe a couple times a week or something like that, for a long period of time. And then, I think we have to be like, I don't think we can't be total shit at these games either.
We're going to win. You're saying we're going to win, right?
Like we can't be absolute trash. Like we have to demonstrate some form of improvement. We don't have to be pro. I'll give you an example. One of my favorite streamers to watch is the Bouse FFS. I don't know if you guys know him. but he does like League of Legends stuff. And his whole thing is like he's like world class. So maybe this example isn't very good. But a couple of years ago, I don't think he was world class. He was like really good, but he wasn't like super, super, super insanely good. He was like, probably like 90th percentile of all like, competitive guys. And what he did is he just got really good at one dude, Scion, which is like some dude with a big axe. And then he played him in a very unconventional way. So it was like intrinsically interesting to both watch him play the game, reason about the game. And then he also did things like take questions while he was playing the game and stuff. So I think those three are the prerequisites, really. We press our unique button. We're consistent. Because, most gamers aren't consistent. They kind of lack the work ethic, let's be real, to like actually establish a hold in any sort of thing. And then, we need to like achieve some reasonable level of skill so that people aren't just like tearing out their eyeballs all day watching me,
Dude, I
get
love
fragged.
that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got to bring the gold home, which we will. It's like, I agree. I think it's like the guy that likes walking will walk further than the guy that just has a goal. So I think like it being fun means that it is very easy to do, and you got to do it consistently. So I agree. I think consistency is a killer. I think winning I think that's like an ingredient. It's probably like, okay, like if nothing else exists except the fact you're amazing, you'd probably like struggle. I do think we have got a really cool USP with that. And what else do I think? Honestly, I think, to be fair, I actually think just showing up, and I think the fact that we were naturally going to talk about business anyway, I think would be a really good enough differentiator. I genuinely think that. And I think there's levels of things you can layer into this. So this concept of like CEOs of Fortnite, where you bring in interesting guests to the stream for us to like have conversations with and like get their thoughts on stuff, is like really, really cool. But it should also be fun. What I think is really unique about it as well is the fact it is a cross between fun and education in a way. I think it probably bleeds more towards fun and like personality, but it's like, I personally always find that like, if I'm talking long enough, I will talk about deals at some point. Like I can't have extended stretches of time not cracking deals. So I think naturally it will go there, dude. But I just think it's just such a huge opportunity. I think we're probably the only non-18-year-olds on the platform, maybe. So that's something to think about.
You just
what
be
that's
us
going to look like.
getting brutally chirped by,
Dude, I think I told you the story, but like I was like battling with a 7-year-old, and my girlfriend was like, how good is he? And I was like, honestly, it's pretty comparable in sense of skill. Like, I was like, I'm not going to lie to you right now. Like, he is actually really good. Like,
it's those damn little fingers, man.
Dude, we used to call them squeakers. We called them squeakers. Like when they were like just pre their voice dropping and stuff, and we're like the little squeakers. But dude, I remember when I got paid to boost someone on Halo 3. Like they paid me to do that, but we got paid in Xbox Live memberships. So you charge them like a 1 month or a 3 month based on like their skill level and how many things they wanted to get to level 50. And it was good, dude. I was like the 17-year-old me, I'm breaking up now talking about it. I was like, this is the economics. I was like, I don't know if I'm really making good hourly rate on it, but it was fun anyway. Like,
totally. I watch this guy Critical pretty often on YouTube, and I love
Most Critical. Oh yeah, dude, 100%.
Most Critical. He's hilarious, and yeah, man. I just I think about how much of a relationship I've gotten to build with this guy randomly while he just talks about stupid shit that really isn't all that important, and just like how much I value his opinion on various things. And I'm like, yeah, I just think that makes sense. Whether it's trashing 7-year-olds or talking about business. I don't know. I mean, like, listen, we could ideate it all day, but let's just go and let's do it. And then let's just see how it goes. It's not like there's any cost. It's not like people are going to unsubscribe from Jack Roberts in droves because they find out that he freaking plays League of Legends once a week or Fortnite or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? It'd be really funny if they did.
Can you imagine?
I don't think they will.
Freaking hilarious. That'd be so funny. Dude, it's a refinement of the audience, is what it is. Dude, shall we wrap a bow with some questions from the guys?
Let's do a little bit of Q&A. Let me just open this puppy, and then I'll head over to studio.youtube.com, sort us out.
Right, dude.
What do we have on the docket for today? I wonder.
Let's have a look at this.
Anybody new has shat on us.
Dude, we got to get some catchphrases. That's one thing we left out.
Oh yeah, the dudes and the bands.
I've got bad news, Nick. It's clobbering time is already taken, apparently.
Okay, let's sort by new. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's scroll all the way down to the bottom. Click hide. Oh, Maya or Mia's got a great question. By the way, she's in my Whoop group. Do you have a Whoop band?
What's a Whoop? A Whoop is like a fitness thing?
Dude, it's this little thing, and like you can form like a Whoop community, and then anyway, super, super cool. Hopefully we get to that question. I'm realizing it's not actually up at the top. Okay. Think Online says, we'll start with you. The point about you can be perfect and small or authentic and large hit hard. That's basically the trade-off for creators today.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's interesting. Thank you for sharing this. Well, thank you. Okay, Mitch says, a Ponzi is a funny thing because the whole financial system is a Ponzi fundamentally. We all invest hoping someone buys from us at a higher price. The greater fool theory. This combined with the global liquidity's 90% correlation with the NASDAQ proves the system is driven mostly by liquidity, not profits. Well, Jack, as you are a financial analyst here, what are your thoughts on that?
Let me dust off my financial qualifications. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I think that's certainly true for many things. I mean, the whole system's held up by debt, isn't it? So, but I would say I think a Ponzi seems slightly different because there's an air of criminality to it. Like there is no value. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Whereas like the economy does objectively provide a tremendous amount of value.
There's actual value creation. Yeah. I mean, that's the easiest litmus test, I think, for scammers. Where's the value being created? If you can't find any value being created, then it's time to run.
Yeah, and I think that, Mitch, what you're saying may be academically or technically correct, but you're probably speaking more about speculation than you are about actual value creation. Like, well, it's true that there's global liquidity 90% correlated with NASDAQ. Like this is speculation on speculation on speculation on speculation. There is the production of a company that produces goods and resources to satisfy a customer's needs. And then there is speculation on how well that company is able to continue and grow. And so, while I think speculation can be sort of Ponzi-ish, like the actual like value creation inherent in like a small business or whatever is. That's just me being not super pessimistic.
No, I love it.
Maybe it is.
I love that.
Okay. Grant Charge. Would love to hear both your opinions on Godzy's latest product launch. This is interesting. What did Godzy launch?
I don't know, dude. Let's find out right now.
Yeah.
I will say this about Godzy. I have noticed that every time I see an ad, it is for something different than the thing I saw in my last ad to that.
Well, listen very closely, Jack. Are you listening very closely?
Yes. Talk to me, man.
All right. Hold up. So this is about 2 weeks ago. So what is this? Is this the latest product launch? I'm just going to like click a couple of these buttons. Clearly he's been going into AI recently. Dude, how do I mute this? Can I mute this tab? Oh, dude, he doesn't even, is he just linking the video right here?
That's the big funnel. Yeah, that must be the funnel video. If you click on that, the CTA to the thing he wants to sell you to will be on that, I think.
No, bro, this is the same video. He just links the same video in the video. There's no way this is intentional. He must have screwed this up.
So maybe check a different video. Yeah, let's have a look.
Okay. No, he's moving all of them to the laziest way to make money online in 2025. But then what is he pitching? Where's the CTA, man? I don't see the CTA here. Am I ridiculous? Maybe it's in the pinned comment. Oh, no, it's the same video. Look at the URLs. What is going on? Am I crazy?
I'm on the website. I'm trying to figure it out.
All right. Where's this? Can we just like buy your stuff, Iman, please? My bro.
I think, dude, I tell you what I think is happening here. I think all the selling happens on an Instagram ad is what I think is going on, bro. And all of the YouTube is just like what I've noticed some of the guys do is they split out the ask and the add value thing now. They're not asking in the content anymore. They're just value blasting you the content, and then the asks come in the ads.
That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I mean, yeah, there's no CTA in the YouTube videos. I feel like
never, dude. Never. Only in the ads. Only in the ads.
Wow. Okay. Well, anyway, I wish I had his product. I don't have his product though. I don't know where it is.
Dude, we got some credit cards right here, man. Come on, we're ready.
I would totally buy this just to. Okay. Anyway, unfortunately, I don't know if I'll be able to answer this question. I imagine it's probably related to AI though.
It's so funny, laziest way. Isn't that really funny? That really resonates as a term.
Yeah, I know. It's unfortunate, but like a lot of people self-identify as really lazy, and I think that's just a way to like do both a call out, but then also do something unconventional.
100%.
Okay. Vote for Nick and Jack in the bot lane. That's what I'm talking about.
What's the bot lane?
A bot lane's a League of Legends term. It's
I love it.
Duo lane where you get like a support and like an ADC. If you guys play Fortnite, I'm gonna lose it. Consider this my vote, dude. We got to vote. Okay.
We're gonna play in like 5 minutes. That's perfect. Let's do it.
Yeah. Build with Matt. At what level of income do you guys think you can start recording content? As Hormozy says, do cool shit and then talk about it. But I'm not sure I've done enough cool shit yet. What do you got?
So I'd say you do not have to be the guru to create content. It's completely fine. In fact, let me give you an example. There was a chick called April who wanted to do content on how to grow on YouTube, but she hadn't grown on YouTube. So what she did is she spent over 100 hours. So she said, like, look, I've spent the last 100 hours going through every single hook on MrBeast's YouTube channel. And here are like 5 interesting things that I found out about it. And the positioning is less, let me bestow upon you wisdom from Mount Sinai. And it's more, hey, here's some cool stuff I found. I want to share it with the group. So you don't need proof to create content, but you do need to get good at creating content. So wherever you're at in the journey, you should start right now.
That's a fair point. I mean, I push back on that in my community quite a bit because most people that are just starting out to automate stuff are like, hey, like I want to make a YouTube channel and that's how I'm going to get my leads. Like, I think it's going to be difficult for you to acquire leads with no skill unless you have something unique that is an accomplishment. So like Jack was talking about, in that case, here are 5 things or whatever. That is still an accomplishment that you are using in order to, gain some sort of interest. But if it's just watch me build an AI agency from scratch, I made $7 last month. It's like inherently speaking, if you're not really good at content because you don't have a ton of experience and then you also have no accomplishment, like what's actually dragging me to your video versus everybody else's? When I started on YouTube, I was not very good at making content, but I did have like a big thing. It was like, here's how I made $50,000 last month. And then it's like, oh, that's a really unique accomplishment. Not very many people make $50,000. So I was able to leverage that to grow without having to become really good at making content, I think the YouTube graveyards are filled with people that have like fantastic production value and that think a lot about the content that they make, but because they have no hook or nothing interesting about them, they find it really hard to grow. And then human beings require some form of positive feedback. And if you just don't get the positive feedback fast enough, most people will just stop. So that's why my recommendation is usually, hey, make some money first. And my litmus test is always like, are you the top 1% in what you're talking about? Can we know objectively that you are top 1%? No, obviously not. But let's say you did something that's really cool. Like you read 483 books in a year or some shit. You're probably in the top 1%. So if you're in the top 1% of what you talk about, you're inherently interesting just on the virtue of that alone. Your content doesn't even have to be that good because people are just like, who the hell's this chick that just read 482 books in a year?
Dude, and I love that, dude, because this is called the expert and the micro. Like you got to pick like a micro ass monopoly. And like imagine if you just spent a weekend learning about a webhook and WhatsApp. And dude, this is the webhook WhatsApp tutorial. Like you're like the 1% on that thing. But I agree, dude. You need proof is so important because it answers the question of why you, right? Otherwise, why would I even bother listening? Really, really good conversation, man.
Yeah, I'd agree. I feel like we could probably record like 10 podcasts just on that alone.
100%. I'll write that one.
Why don't we leave the rest of these for the next chat? But it's good. It's good. Apparently my nodding skill is at max level.
Beautiful. Well, dude, what a beautiful conversation. We covered it all. We will begin live stream and we'll have a beautiful conversation next week. Nick, pleasure. And my man, I'll catch you in a short while.
Absolutely. I'm really stoked. We'll set up our Twitches and everything else and then probably start dropping them down in the description. Thank you very much for the time, Jack.
Beautiful. Thank you, bro. See you soon, man.